Right, so these are some of the examples, good examples of ratio. Okay. Okay, so now in this section, we will take some theoretical properties of ratios and combinations of ratios. So first, suppose if it is given that A is to B is 2 is to 3, then what will be the ratio of, alright, let's take them one by one. First of all, whenever, see, always you will get this kind of situation, right, wherein some unknowns and some knowns are combined in a ratio. Suppose we multiply by the same number, to the components of one side. We don't need to look at the other side. We don't need to do anything to the other side. Okay. For example, in the first question, we are multiplying by 5 to this A to this B. That means the other side will remain same. No change at all. Right? We have applied this actually in the question of milk and ages. We have already used this. Okay, we were multiplying the same numbers, so ratio wouldn't change. Right? But if you multiply by different numbers, then what will happen? Then we will have to look at the other side and do the same operation on the other side. For example, here the number corresponding to A is 2 and you are multiplying A by 6. So multiply this 2 by 6. So it becomes 12. Similarly, the number corresponding to B is 3 and you are multiplying B by 4. So multiply this 3 by 4. So it will become 12. Now what is 12 is to 12? You have to simplify this. The final answer will be 1 is to 1. Right? So understand that if you multiply by the same number, and similarly if you divide by the same number to all the components on one side of the ratio, the other side remains as it is. There will be no change on the other side. Alright, but if you multiply by the different number or you divide by the different number, then you have to multiply on the other side also. And then finally simplify it. Okay. Now A square is to B square. Following the same logic, in A you are multiplying by A, in B you are multiplying by B, that means different numbers. Okay, so the other side also will get affected. Or in simpler words you can say A we are squaring A, B we are squaring B, so this 2 will become 4 and this 3 will become 9. So it becomes 2 square and 3 square. So the answer is 4 is to 9. Same goes with A cube is to B cube also. So we are taking cubes of both A and B, so we have to take cubes of both these 2 and 3. So it becomes 8 is to 27. Alright. What about this one? A square is to B cube. So 2 square 4 and 3 cube 27. No, it is wrong. Okay. Why is it wrong? See, as long as the power change was same in both the components or in all the components. Remember, power change has to be same. So here we were squaring, so the other also we will square. A we were taking cube, so B also we have to take cube. Here what we are doing is we are taking square of A but cube of B. That is not possible to be calculated. Okay, this one understand from the other perspective. If A is to B is 2 is to 3, we can very simply take A equal to 2x and B equal to 3x. Alright. Suppose we have to find, let's say A square is to B square. So A square is to B square will become 2x square is to 3x square. So 4x square is to 9x square. You see, we have taken same power. So x square will get cancelled and we get the answer as 4 is to 9. Whereas if the powers are different, let's say A square is to B cube, and you take these things, so 2x square is to 3x cube, so we get 4x square is to 27x cube. That means we get 4 is to 27x. Do we know x? No, we don't know. That means we cannot calculate these situations. What do we say? Cannot be determined for both these cases. So as long as the change in power is the same, you can calculate it, and in that case you don't even need to consider x. We can directly take these values as the values of A and B, because in the end also we are going to get ratio. So it doesn't matter what was the multiplying factor. But if the powers are different, then we need to know the actual values. So it cannot be calculated directly. If some other information is given, with the help of that we can calculate this. Just understand that. If the ratio is given, can you calculate this directly? No. If some other information, some additional information is given, then only we can calculate this. Alright? Okay. Now, similarly, once more, if I say if A is to B is 2 is to 3, what will be the ratio of 1 by A is to 1 by B? It is actually same as the power thing. Why? Because 1 by a is actually a to the power minus 1. 1 by b is b to the power minus 1. We are doing same power. So we do the same thing to the other side also. So 2 will become 1 by 2. 3 will become 1 by 3. Right? But remember, we never leave this in terms of fractions. So to remove fraction, what do we need to do? We take LCM of denominator. Now what is the LCM of denominator? 2 and 3, that is 6. Multiply by 6 on this side. To every component, multiply by 6. So it will become 1 by 2 into 6. 1 by 3 into 6. So that this becomes 3, this becomes 2. So the answer is 3 is to 2. So if A is to B is 2 is to 3, then 1 by A is to 1 by B will be 3 is to 2. Now some people can say we could have directly written. Yes, we could have written, but only in case of 2 items. Right? In case of 2 values. If there are 3 values, then you cannot just reverse the order. Let's take an example. If we have A is to B is to C as 2 is to 3 is to 4, then what will be 1 by A is to 1 by B is to 1 by C? That will be 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4. It will not be 4 is to 3 is to 2. Let's check it. Now here 2, 3, 4, LCM is 12, multiply by 12. You can do that calculation mentally. We'll get 1 by 2 into 12, that is 6. 1 by 3 into 12, that is 4. 1 by 4 into 12, that is 3. So the answer is 6 is to 4 is to 3. Be careful here. Alright? So if you are inverting each one of them, then only you can calculate, because then only all the powers will remain same. So for example, if I say, what is the, if A is to B is to C is given, if A is to B is to C is 2 is to 3 is to 4, then what is the value of 1 by A is to 1 by B is to 1 by C, is to C, let's say for example. So we say that it cannot be determined. Alright? So किसी एक का भी, even if we leave any one of them, we cannot calculate. Similarly here also, suppose we say A is to B is 2 is to 3, then what will be A is to 1 by B? We cannot say anything about this. Alright, be very careful here. Okay, let's take a couple of questions on this. Before that, we'll take some more properties, then we'll take some questions. Suppose we have one more type of property. If A is to B is 2 is to 3, what is the value of, let's say, find 6A plus 4B divided by 3A plus 6B, something like that. First of all, can we calculate? Following the logic of power, yes, we can calculate. I'll tell you simple, I've already explained, but here, this is one line thing that you have to remember. If the power of each of these terms is same, now power with respect to the variables or the unknowns, A and B. If the power is same, like here, power of A is 1, power of B is 1, power of A is 1, power of B is 1. So the power of each term is 1, hence we can calculate, right? And to calculate, one way is we can take A equal to 2x, B equal to 3x, put them here, x will get cancelled out and we get the answer. Or, once we know that the power is same, we don't need to consider x. Just put A equal to 2, B equal to 3. So this will become 6 into 2 plus 4 into 3 divided by 3 into 2 plus 6 into 3. So this becomes 6 into 12 and 12, 24 divided by 6 plus 18, 24. Oh, good. So this becomes 1 is to 1. So the answer is 1. But if suppose the question says find 3a square plus 4b square divided by 12ab, can we calculate this? Yes, we can still calculate, because the power of this term with respect to this unknown is 2. Power of this term with respect to the unknown is 2. But power of this term is still 2 because a into b. See, understand, a square is what? At the end of the day, it is a into a. So power 1, 1. And when you multiply, the powers get added. So 1 plus 1, 2. Even if it is a into b, the net power of the term will be 1 plus 1. That is 2 only. So we can calculate this. And if we know that we can calculate, then simply if we put the values of a as 2, b as 3. So this becomes 2 square, that is 4 into 3, 12. Now this is 3 square, 9 into 4, 36. Divided by 12 into 2 into 3. So 12 2s are 24 into 3, 72. So it is 48 by 72. Which is 2 is to 3. Oh, good. But there's only a coincidence that we get 2 is to 3, yeah, right? So be careful. If we change the coefficient, we'll get a different answer. Okay. But in case, suppose we ask something like this, find 3a square plus 4b divided by 5b square plus 6a square. Can we calculate this? No, can't say. Why can't say? There is one term in which the power is different. Here the power is 2, here the power is 1, here the power is 2, here the power is 2. So we cannot calculate. Even if one term is different, right? Each and every term should have the same power. Even if one term has a different power, we cannot calculate. Right? Just be careful about it. Okay. The question can be asked in reverse also. So for example, 6a plus 4b upon 3a plus 6b is equal to 1, then find the ratio of a and b. So you can do the cross multiplication and calculate. We will take those examples in the session of exercise. Then the next thing can be combination of ratios. If a by b is equal to c by d is equal to 2 by 3, find 7a plus 6c divided by 7b plus 6d. First of all, can we calculate? Now see, yes we can calculate as long as the coefficients of a and b are the same, coefficients of c and d are the same, and a and c are on the same side, b and d are on the same side. Then only we can calculate. If we make any change in this, we cannot calculate. Right? So this value can be calculated, and again to calculate the value, we just put a equal to c equal to 2 and b equal to d equal to 3. I'll repeat. Say for example, I'll take another example. If the question was 3a plus 4c by 3b plus 5d, if it was, so here the coefficients of a and b are the same, a and c are on the same side, b and d are on the same side, but the coefficient of c and d are not same, so here we cannot calculate, can't say, right? This we can calculate by putting these values 2 and 3, so put them here. So 7 into 2, that is 14, 6 into 2, that is 12, divided by 7 into 2, that is 14, and 6 into 3, that is 18. 7 to 3 is 21. So the final answer will be 28 upon 39. Is there any mistake that we have done? 7a plus 6, 7 into 2, 12, 14, 12, 26 upon 39. So it is 2 by 3. Now, did we actually need to do all this? No. As long as this condition is fulfilled, this ratio will remain same. Okay, so we don't even need to do this calculation. We simply say the value is the same. Okay, what does it mean? It means a by b is equal to c by d. Then, let's say we multiply a and b by k1. So k1a, k1b. We multiply c and d by k2. So k2c, k2d. As long as this continues like this, the ratio will remain same as the original ratios. Okay, this is how it is. Alright, this is one very simple example. One very beautiful question actually. I'll give you a question on this. Question can be asked like this. If a by b is equal to c by d is equal to 4 by 5 and 3a plus 4c by 3b minus pd is equal to a finite number, find p. Right, so see, if this is a finite number, there is only one possibility, and that is coefficient of a and b should be same, coefficient of c and d should be same, and that finite number should be equal to this ratio only. So if it is given that it is a finite number, then there is only one possibility that coefficient of c should be equal to coefficient of d. So 4 should be equal to minus p, hence p should be equal to minus 4, hence that is the answer. So this is how the questions can be asked. That's it. इतना simple सा question हो सकता है इसके ऊपर. Suppose we have a is to b is 4 is to 5 and a is to c is 6 is to 5. What is a is to b is to c? How would you combine two ratios? 4 is to 5 is to 6? No, it is not 4 is to 5 is to 6. To combine, we need to identify the unknown number which is common to the ratios. Now here a is the common number. Look at the values corresponding to a. It is 4 here and 6 here. Make the values of a same in both the ratios. Right? Now LCM of 4 and 6 is 12. So to make it 12, if you want to make 4 12, we'll have to multiply this whole thing by 3. Right? So this will become 12 is to 15. Similarly, if you want to make the 6 12, you'll have to multiply by 2. But you can't multiply 6 alone. You'll have to multiply this whole thing by 2. So it becomes 12 is to 10. Right? Now A is to B is to C. So I'll just write below this. Corresponding to A, we have got number 12. In that case, when A is 12, B is 15 from here. So we write 15 in place of B. And corresponding to A12, C should be 10. So this is the final ratio. 12 is to 15 is to 10. Be very careful here. I'll repeat. Identify the quantity which is common. Make the numbers corresponding to that quantity, the common quantity, equal by taking LCM and by multiplying. So you can see that different ratios are being multiplied by different numbers. Right? Let's take another one. If we have B is to C is 3 is to 4 and C is to A is 5 is to 8. So here C and C are common, and for the numbers, for C the numbers are 4 and 5, so make them equal. Now LCM of 4 and 5 is 20. So you want to make this to 20, it will become, I'll write above this, so 4 5s is 20, so 3 5s are 15. So I'll remove this. Then similarly, if you want to make this 5 equal to 20 multiplied by 4, so 8 multiplied by 4, 32. So remove this. So the final answer A is to B is to C will be equal to, write the common number first, C. C ke liye, the value that we have got is 20. Now when C is 20, B has to be 15. And when C is 20, A has to be 32. So the final answer is 32 is to 15 is to 20. Alright. Now in both these questions, suppose here A is to B was given, A is to C was given. So what would be B is to C? So B is to C, you can calculate it in two ways. One, you can find the combined ratio, and then from here you can calculate B is to C. Just simply remove it, simply take them out. That is 15 is to 10. But you can't leave 15 is to 10 like this because it will get simplified and this will become 3 is to 2. Right? This is one way. And the other way is multiply or divide these two in such a manner that A gets cancelled out. Because here we have A by B is equal to 12 by 15, 4 by 5. And A by C is 6 by 5. So simply divide. So if you divide A by B by A by C, A will get cancelled out. 4 by 5 by 6 by 5. Alright. So this 5 and 5 get cancelled, A and A get cancelled. So we get C by B is equal to 4 by 6, which is 2 by 3. So B is to C will be, so B by C will be 3 by 2. So whichever way you are comfortable with, you can calculate. I'll repeat. First method to calculate B is to C will be combine these two to get one single ratio and from there take B is to C. Okay. Or using these two ratios, either you multiply them or you divide them, making sure the non-required unknown goes out. So here we need only B and C, so we have to eliminate A. So you just divide. Similarly in this one, B is to C is given, C is to A is given. Which one is not given? A is to B. Okay, so if you want to calculate A is to B, write this as B by C equal to 3 by 4 and C by A was 5 by 8. Just by looking at them, if you want to eliminate C, what you will have to do? In this case, you divide it. Here you need to multiply. So B by C into C by A. That will become 3 by 4 into 5 by 8. So I'll just remember, the one that you do not need, eliminate it. So in this case, we wanted to find, the question was find A is to B. Okay. So remove C. And in this case, C can be removed by multiplication. So C gets cancelled and we get B by A equal to 15 divided by 32. Or A by B is 32 by 15. So the answer is 32 is to 15. This is one way. Or the other way is find the combined ratio and from there you can take out 32 is to 15. So this is how you can combine the ratio or you can separate from a combination of ratio. The ratio of surface areas of a cuboid is 3 is to 4 is to 5. Volume is 216,000 meter cube. Find ratio of sides or the edges. Now what is a cuboid? We all know that cuboid is a 3D, 3-dimension figure. like this. So we have L, B and H. When you say surface area, there are 6 surfaces. But when you calculate the surface area values, there will be 3 values. Let's say for example, this top area, this is L, this is B. So the top area will be L into B. This side area will be B into H. And this front area will be L into H. Now the bottom area will also be L into B. The back area, which we can't see, is also L into H. And a surface parallel to this surface on the back of this will also be B into H. So there will be 6 surfaces, but the value of surface areas will be only 3. And the values are L into B, L into H and B into H. Alright, just check them. So the question is find the ratio of sides. So what we have to find is L is to B is to H. The order is not important, so don't worry about it. You can just write them in increasing order, decreasing order. Now what to do? Now there are many ways to do this, but yeah, actually this is a diversion, okay, to make you fool, right? So don't fall for it. We will just use this combination thing or separation thing rather. What is given? It says ratio of surface areas. That means ratio of LB is to LH is to BH. That is given 3:4:5. Alright. From here we have to find L is to B is to H. Just separate them. For example, if you take 2 of them, so LB is to LH. That is 3:4. From here L gets cancelled out and we get B is to H equal to 3:4. Alright. Similarly, if you take these 2, what will happen? LH is to BH. That is 4:5. H gets cancelled out, we get L is to B equal to 4:5. Wow. So now we have these 2 ratios, combine them. Which one is the common quantity? B. What are the numbers for B? 3 and 5. Now LCM of 3 and 5 is 15. So make this 15, this will become 20. Make this 15, 5 3s are 15, so 4 3s are 12. So L is to B is to H will be, now see, which one is common? B, and for B we have taken 15. Now when B is 15, H has to be 20. And when B is 15, L has to be 12. So the answer is 12 is to 15 is to 20. Or 20 is to 15 is to 12. Don't worry. Option में there will be only one of them. So this is one way of doing it. Volume was just camouflage, which you should avoid in this case. Not necessary. See, understand, we are not asking the values of length, breadth and height. We just want the ratio of length, breadth and height. Okay? Now, from here only, there is one more way of doing this. I'll write this again. LB is to LH is to BH. Is 3:4:5? Now, we have just done a property that if we multiply or divide by the same number to all the components on one side, there is no change on the other side. Okay? So, divide each one of these 3 numbers by LBH. Again, you don't need to use the value of LBH. Volume is LBH, that is given. You don't need to use the value, just LBH expression. The other side will remain 3:4:5. Now here you see, LB by LBH will become 1 by H. LH by LBH will become 1 by B. And BH by LBH will become 1 by L. And that is 3:4:5. From here, what we need to do is just invert this. So if you invert this, and we are inverting each one of them, so it becomes H is to B is to L. The other side will get inverted, will become 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5. You don't leave it like this. You simplify. So LCM of denominator 3, 4 and 5, that is 60. Multiply by 16 each one of them. So you get H is to B is to L as 16 to 1 by 3, 20. 16 to 1 by 4, 15. 16 to 1 by 5 is 12. Or if you want to write in this order, just take the options. In the option you will have only numbers, right? So it doesn't matter whether it is L first or H first. Okay, so this is how you need to do these questions. Alright. It's a question of actually division. It just came to my mind. Rupees 75,000 are divided among A, B and C such that A gets half of amounts of B and C together. B and C together. Okay. B gets 1/4 of amounts of A and C together. Find their individual shares. Individual shares. Just consider the amount of A as A, amount of B as B, amount of C as C. So the first equation that we get is A plus B plus C is equal to 75,000. Now second equation, A gets half of the amounts of B and C together. So whatever B and C get, half of that is equal to A. So instead of making an equation, just do one thing. Bring 2 on this side. So 2A is equal to B plus C. Now in this equation, in place of B plus C, write 2A. So it will become A plus 2A, right? And that is 75,000. So 3A is 75,000. So A's share is 25,000 rupees. So very simply we can find A. Alright. Then second, B gets 1/4 of the amounts of A and C together. Alright. So I'll write this as B equal to A plus C by 4. And we still have A plus B plus C equal to 75,000. Now from here we get 4B is equal to A plus C. Right? Now see, in place of A plus C, write 4B. So we will get A plus C will become 4B. So 4B plus B, that is equal to 75,000. So we have 5B equal to 75,000. Right? So B is equal to 15,000 rupees. Now we have got A and B, so automatically C you can get by subtracting these values from 75,000. Now 15,000 plus 25,000, that is 40,000. So it is 35,000, the remaining 35,000. You can also find the ratio of ABC, and that will be equal to 25,000 is to 15,000 is 35,000. That will become, I'll write this as 25,000 is to 15,000 is to 35,000. Now zeros will get cancelled and 5, it will also get cancelled by 5. So 5 is to 3 is to 7. This would be the required ratio. So these are some good basic questions related to ratios and their properties. Right now we'll just try and see these statements. When we say 3 numbers, if 3 numbers A, B, C are in proportion, alright. So if you know geometric progression, don't use it much here. When you simply say that 3 numbers ABC are in proportion, it means A by B is equal to B by C. As simple as that. Right? Here the number in the middle, that B, the number in the middle will always appear twice. And the number that appears twice is called mean proportion. So B is mean proportion. It is the name of that quantity, so don't worry much. Mean proportion of A and C. Right? So the middle number or the number which is there in between will be called mean proportion of the numbers at the end. Similarly, this C is third proportion. Now, so when I say third proportion, it will mean third proportion to A and B. Obviously, if you wish, you can say that this A is first proportion to B and C. Okay. Now, how can the questions be asked? I'll write one question here. Find mean proportion of 16 and 36. Very simple. Right? So, what will you do? You write 16 first, you write 36 in the end, and you write x in the end, assuming x is the mean proportion. Remember, mean proportion is the number in between. So, we have to say that 16, x and 36 are in proportion. So, once we get this, we can write this relation 16 upon x is equal to x upon 36. Understand once more. When I say find mean proportion of 16 and 36, so we write 16 and 36 in the end, we insert number x in between, and we say that they are in proportion. And if they are in proportion, then we can apply the same rule. A upon B is equal to B upon C. So in place of A, 16 would come. In place of B, x would come. In place of C, 36 would come. And then you simplify. So we get x into x, 16 into 36. So 16 into 36 is equal to x squared. As you know, 16 is 4 squared, 36 is 6 squared. So x will be equal to 4 into 6, which is 24. So 24 is the mean proportion of 16 and 36. Alright. But at the same time, if I say find third proportion to 16 and 36. Now how do you interpret this? Remember, third proportion should come in the end. So what do we say? 16, 36 and then y. Then this y would represent the third proportion. And we write this as 16 upon 36 equal to 36 upon y. And if you simplify, you'll get the values of y or value of y. Right? So I think this is from here y is equal to 36 into 36 divided by 16. So 4 times, 4 9 times and 4 9 times. So we get y is equal to 81. This is the answer. So try and understand that 24 is the mean proportion of 16 and 36. 81 is third proportion to 16 and 36. Right? So one number we calculated here which was in between 16 and 36. And here one number we are calculating which is after 36. And this we followed this proportionality rule. And suppose in case we are asked to find the first proportion, I'll put a small question like this. Find first proportion to 16 and 36. How do we go about it? We say A 16, 36. They are in proportion. So we say A upon 16 is equal to 16 upon 36. Right? So from here we get A is equal to 16 into 16 by 36. So if there is any cancellation possible, do it. So it is 64 by 9. So A's value is 64 by 9. If at all, this is the question. So please understand that all these three questions are different. Right? Even though the numbers are same, or you can see that all these questions are absolutely different. So this is for three numbers in proportion. So whenever, so in the book or in the exercise, you will have a couple of more questions on this. You just follow this property, this rule. If this is the statement A, B, C are in proportion, then this is the ratio that has to be done. And suppose if the statement is not given, question is simply saying that this is, or find the mean proportion, or find the third proportion, or find the first proportion. You make such an order, and then accordingly you apply the ratio. What if there are four numbers? So in our questions of this chapter, particularly only for this chapter, the language of the question would be, suppose in case we get four numbers, A, B, C, D are in proportion. Right? See, here what we mean to say, we do not mean to say continued proportion. See, understand the difference. If it was continued proportion, okay, if it was continued proportion, the relation would be A upon B equal to B upon C equal to C upon D, right? So if the situation was of continued proportion, it would be A by B, B by C, C by D. Now this is same as geometric progression. Here right now we are not working on progression. We will do that separately. Okay. So specifically for this situation, if we simply say four numbers are in proportion, then we will not consider the continuity. Okay. We will just take A by B equal to C by D. So I will clarify once more. In this chapter, when the questions are for four numbers in proportion, then this is the relation that has to be used. A by B is equal to C by D. Okay. But if it is for continued proportion, even in this chapter, if they use this word, then you use this B by C also. In most of the questions, in our situation, all the questions would have this relation only. Okay. For example, if the question says, what must be added to each of 33, 45, 69, 93 to make them in proportion, so that they come in a proportion. What will you do? Understand the question. What must be added to each of these? So if I suppose I say that x is the number to be added, then how do I write the relation? 33 plus x. Divide by 45 plus x. Because they are going to become a proportion. Right? Now this one 69 plus x. And the last one 93 plus x. Question is, what must be added to make them in proportion? So add x to each one of them. So we get 33 plus x, 45 plus x, 69 plus x, 93 plus x. We will not use the continued proportion thing. We will use this one. Okay. Now if you simplify, you will get the answer. Now, you don't need to simplify. I'll give, in these questions, use the options given. Suppose the options are -1, 2, 3, 7. Use the options. If you put x equal to -1, this will become 33 minus 1, that is 32. 45 minus 1, 44. And this side will become 69 minus 1, 68, and 93 minus 1, 92. Are these two ratios same? No. You can check this. This is 4, 8 divided by 11. This is not a multiple of 11, this is not a multiple of 8. So simply it is wrong. Okay. So this -1 is wrong. If you take 2, if you put 2, this will become 35. This will become 47. Here if you put 2, it will become 71. And this will become 95. Very clearly, this 95 is not divisible by 47. 47 is a prime number. So this also is wrong. If you put x equal to 3, what will happen? This will become 36. And this 45 plus 3 will become 48. This is equal to 69 plus 3, that is 72. And 93 plus 3, that is 96. Now check. This is 12 3s are, 12 4s are. This is 24 3s are. This is 24 4s are. Right. So they are equal. So this is the correct situation. You don't need to check 7. So the answer is 3. Trust me, you'll never have to you'll never be required to do some calculations here. Alright. So question. What fraction bears the same ratio to 3 by 5 as 2 by 7 bears with 1 by 2. So what fraction bears the same ratio to 3 by 5? So suppose that fraction is x, then x is to 3 by 5 is equal to 2 by 7 is to 1 by 2. This is what the question says. Right? So this can be written as x divided by 3 by 5 is equal to 2 by 7 divided by 1 by 2. So be careful about the order. It says what fraction bears the same ratio to 3 by 5. So x will come at the first position, then 3 by 5, and then 2 by 7 bears to 1 by 2. Let's simplify. So you will get 5x by 3 equal to 4 by 7. So finally from here we get x is equal to 12 by 35. So the required fraction is 12 by 35.